Andrew McCart, iFLTV, delighted to be joined by Mr. Eddie Hearn. Eddie, normally it's a scramble to get you ringside, so I've spent money on this fucking contraption thinking I'd get you. Look at it, it's my phone, a light.
Lovely contraption.
Yeah, well, it's not working, but anyway, we are here. I want to talk about that small talk show and get your thoughts on it, but I think we'll go to more pressing matters, which is the Jack Catterall split decision against Arnold Barboza. How did you see the fight?
I thought Jack edged the fight. Firstly, I thought he was very unlucky that he wasn't scored a knockdown. I mean, it was clearly a punch that sent him backwards. He was off balance, but I'll have to look at that again. I thought he won the last round to edge the fight, but honestly, 7-5 either way, can't really complain. When I got in the ring after the fight, Barboza was like, "Oh yeah, I've won." I said, "It's very close." What? I said, "Mate, none of you really asserted yourself on the fight." And that was the frustrating thing for Jack is I just feel like he could have done more. I feel like he could have won the fight quite comfortably. And that's frustrating, and you run the risk when you fight like that for that to happen, for it to go against you in a close fight. So I think he'll kick himself. I did think he just did enough, but again, no complaints, fight that could have gone either way.
What's next for Jack then? Obviously, he's been busy. Sometimes it could be burnout if you've had 4 or 5 fights quite close together. That's maybe not the case with Jack, but what's next for him?
I mean, you can't have it every way. Fighters want to keep nice and active. It's great for momentum and performance, but then all of a sudden you're burnt out. That's not what he said. Whether that he made the weight the best yesterday, I'm not so sure. I felt it was a little bit of a flat performance, but it was a cagey fight. And Barboza's a good fighter. It's easy to say, "Oh, you got to do more." Barboza's a good counter-puncher as well. You can't just be clumsy and fall over your feet. Like there were times where Jack was trying to force the fight, but he was falling over his feet. And when you do that, you can get countered. So it's not just that easy, but I feel like he'll kick himself for not doing a little bit more.
Teofimo Lopez, Hitchens, might go up to welterweight. Don't know what's going on with Teofimo. Is there appetite for a rematch?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I don't think Teofimo's going to fight Arnold Barboza. I think he's going to look for bigger fights. So if he vacates the title, maybe Jack gets a shot back at Arnold Barboza. But for tonight, it's Barboza's night. He's a lovely bloke. His dad's here, Rick Mirrigan. My mate Oscar, I've already messaged him. That was a kick in the nuts. But we'll get him back in Riyadh next week. And look, I think no complaints. Either man could have got the decision.
The knockdown, you said that you believe it was a knockdown.
I haven't seen it. I mean, on first sight, I felt it was a knockdown. When I watched the replay, it was like, I think that's a knockdown. If the feet come together, as long as it's not a trip, no punches landed. A punch landed, it made him go backwards. Whether they touch feet, again, till I see it properly, it was my instant reaction. But it is what it is.
You mentioned Oscar De La Hoya there. He'll be happy. This clapback Thursday will be fun to watch on Thursday. You messaged him.
I did.
What was said?
I just said congratulations. And he said a very close, cagey fight. And I said, I thought we were going to get it. And he said, I think he was quite surprised. Not that he didn't think Arnold won, but I think in the UK, such a close fight, you'd think that you'd get the fight. But listen, that's not how it should be. And I just said, I'll see you for the rematch in Riyadh with Floyd Schofield against Shakur and Ortiz Madrimov.
You're the Frank 1-5v5, this loss with Oscar De La Hoya. See, when you do win a big fight, whether it be in Riyadh, have you got your celebration ready? Because I think that we're going to see a big celebration from you when you finally win, Eddie.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do win. I mean, we won Tainer Serrano and a couple of other big fights, but
Sky and Raven.
That was a fight that McGrail against and also Masood. Yeah, so come on, we do it, but no one remembers them. But I think that obviously we need Shakur to do the business, and Ortiz Madrimov's a 50-50 fight. It's a very, very good close fight. So hopefully a couple of wins next week.
Run down the card for me, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zelfa Barrett against Jazza Dickens. I thought it was a fantastic performance from Jazza. That was really fighting for his career tonight. Zelfa was supposed to fight in December. He had an issue where he couldn't fight, and I think that set him back tonight. He's been inactive for a long period of time, but he just, again, you've got to assert yourself more. You can't go home that night thinking, could have done a little bit more, because you're going to regret it, and it's going to affect your career. Pat McCormack, fantastic. Very, very good fighter. Robbie Davis, great guy. He's retired now, I believe, and he's been a great servant to the sport, lovely bloke. And I thought Reece Bellotti was fantastic. I really did. Battered Michael Gomez, who hung in there, but was just took too much punishment. And Conor Tudsbury, huge puncher. William Crawler looks fantastic. And good wins for Aqib Fiaz and Alfie Middenwis.
Small talk. Parsons, he just seems to be getting well watered, doesn't man?
I mean, I walked into this bar. It's like a nightclub in there. There's a live audience. It's like TFI Friday. I don't know if you remember it, but like
it was
quite amusing what they did to me with Jamie Ward. I didn't know what was going on there, but
that's what I was talking about.
Just do something different. You know, tonight was another pre-10 p.m. start. First bell. It was like 9:45 ring walk, something like that. We're guaranteeing now that every fight starts before 10. 9's a bit adventurous. I don't want to say to people, 9 o'clock, we have 4 championship fights on every card. And that will ensure a pre-10 o'clock start. Now, if there's stoppages, could be 9 o'clock, but pre-10 o'clock, you know, that went to points and the fight was all over at what, 10:30, 10:40? Perfect.
One final one for me before I let you. Oscar Bevis over there just winked at me, which is quite weird.
Yeah, weird.
Eddie, you talked about Saudi next week, February 22nd, probably the best card I've seen in my lifetime. Anyway, quick rundown of that card as well and your excitement about going over to Saudi.
I mean, not just, we got 4 fighters on the card, of course, the main event as well, but I'm not just looking forward to those guys. Carlos Adames against Hamza Shiraz, Ajit Kabir against Zhang. It's just one of the great nights of boxing, so don't miss it, Saudi next week.